Have you ever considered hosting your own talk show?
Yeah?
Live from Cincinnati-ish, Ohio, it is Supertonight with Superdivorce. Woo! We got a great show lined up for you tonight, featuring the Pop Culture Minute with Pop Culture, and much, much more. When the sun goes down, the fireworks go boom. And now, ladies and gentlemen, presenting to you the host of this evening's program, Superdivorce!
Welcome, my friends, to tonight's program. Tonight's Supertonight. You know, everyone's so nice in the chat. Everyone's so nice. Instead of saying, thanks for streaming, it's about goddamn time. That's what people say. That's how people talk to me. But it's okay. But it's all right. It's okay. I'm glad you're here anyway. Even if you want to berate me and yell at me in all caps, I appreciate you. All right? I appreciate you being here. It's fine. You can use your all caps. You can not thank me. It's a thankless job here in the entertainment business. It's a thankless job hosting your own Tonight show, which is what we are doing here. This is the spiritual successor to Jay Leno's Tonight Show and the grand tradition of Jay Leno and Conan O'Brien. We're picking up where the old masters left off, smoothing out the road, all that rocky road left by the likes of Jimmy Fallon and Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Kimmel's and all these hacks who couldn't host their way out of a brown paper sack. That's why I've decided to do this. Now, we've got what do we have to talk about? We got a lot to talk about tonight. We've got a lot, but Good Brother's continuing. He says, thanks for finally starting the goddamn program. Better? Sure, that's better, I guess. I guess that's better. You know what we got to do, though? We gotta do something. In that little intro, you might have noticed it's been a while since you've seen a certain someone around here. A certain pop culture expert, pop culture himself. Pop Culture was kind enough to record a brand new Pop Culture Minute that he wanted me to share with you guys tonight. And, no, you know what? I'm not going to do that just yet. We're going to hold off on the Pop Culture Minute. We're going to hold on just a minute on the Pop Culture Minute. First, let's talk about some pop culture that's going on right now. How does that sound? Does that sound good? Because pop culture is going to take you back in time. Pop culture is going to go back way, way back there. He likes to talk about those stories that no one's talked about for years. Make you guys hip to some old-fashioned pop culture. That's what he does. That's what his shtick is. That's what he likes to do. So I don't want to step on his toes. I like to talk about some modern-day pop culture, some stuff that's in the news right now. What's back in the news, Kev? We got a lot back in the news. But my most anticipated bit of news is in about 1 minute's time, I believe. This brand I talked about the other night, and no one popped for it. No one seems to give a shit but me. I'm going to make you guys care. Is that there's a brand new R.L. Stine Fear Street movie premiering on Netflix in less than 1 minute's time, I think. I think it goes live at midnight. Unless they got some weird thing due to time zones. Which they might. I don't know. But it's supposed to be on May 23rd. I've talked about this multiple times now. Like I said, no one seems to give a shit but me. But I did a few videos on the last one. The 2021 series of 3 films that they released kind of like all at the same time. The Fear Street ones. I thought they were fun for the most part. I didn't like the main character. I talked about that before in the modern day setting. That chick, she kind of got on my nerves a little bit. Hold on, let's get this tape out of here. We need some tunes going. Isn't this something? We got to get some tunes going. I already got something picked out. Look what we're going to put on right here. Phil Collins, No Jacket Required. An album, a cassette tape that old Patrick Bateman would enjoy listening to if he were here. Pat Bateman approved. We're going to put it on right now. What's up, Jorfus? How's it going, buddy? Now that's better. It's better when you get a little tunes going for your late night program. for your Tonight show. Horror is largely overrated, in your opinion. That's an overrated opinion, in my opinion. I think horror is one of the best genres of film there is. Usually endlessly fun. I just love the tropes. You know, I love the tropes. I love the sort of trodden path that horror kind of walks. Slashers. I would say slashers are probably my favorite. I love slashers. Slashers are good. Supernatural stuff's fun too. I don't really like sort of like the... Now here's the deal, okay? Now some people really... They like the really, what would you say, like dark, gritty, kind of horror movies that leave a bad taste in your mouth. I'm not talking about Terrifier stuff. That's like a slasher. That's really over-the-top slasher. Almost, I would see that being similar sort of in gore factor and such to like Evil Dead. It's like, it's just so over the top and so ridiculous, it almost borders on black comedy sometimes. So it's not like gore itself that I don't like. It's if something's really gory, but done in like a super serious, almost like hyper realistic way, trying to make you feel like awful. That stuff I kind of could like take or leave. It's not that I'm like, my stomach's not weak. It's just I don't have fun watching that stuff as much. I like horror that I can, even if it's kind of like scary sometimes, intense. It's like, oh, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? I still like to be able to leave cinema or leave my living room with a smile on my face, kind of. The kind of stuff you could sit around and like bullshit with, you know, have a rap session with your buddies while you're watching it. You know what I'm saying? But we were talking about this the other night. Cliches and tropes came up. And it's not the cliches and tropes that I mind. As long as they're fun. As long as it's fun to follow along with. I don't need the wheel reinvented every time. It's like, whatever. If it's like a haunted house movie, I like those too. Those are fun. The Changeling is a great one. That's an old one. The Changeling. House on Haunted Hill. The Haunting. And I think that sometimes possession movies will teeter on haunted house territory. They can kind of overlap sometimes. In the case of like, what would you say, back in the Conjuring series and all those films. And then what else? You got stuff like Insidious. I think those movies are fun. There's a certain little sprinklings of levity here and there. But a lot of times, I don't get into the stuff that's just there to like make you feel awful. Like how dark can we make it? How bad can we make the viewer feel by the end of the film? I mean, maybe I'll watch something like that on a recommendation, but it's not going to be something I go back to over and over again. I watch Killer Clowns from Outer Space every day until the day I die. I would watch the original Halloween. I'd watch like any of the Halloween movies repeatedly. Even the ones that are like, you know, the people said the Rob Zombie ones were like too brutal. Michael Myers was like too mean and big and bulky, you know, played by Tyler Mane. Some people didn't like that. I thought those movies were fine. I didn't mind that. And now I need to clarify something because people are going to be like, he only likes horror comedy. No, that's not true. I can get into like a serious horror film that's more like dramatic. It's just like dramatic with a focus on like obscene torture and things like that. And it's not, I'm not up here saying, oh, torture porn. I told you I love Terrifier. So it's not the gore that turns me off. I don't care about that. I know they're fucking practical effects. We're not watching snuff films. You know what I mean? So I can always make that distinction. It's just like if I'm trying to lock into a film, I try not to like take myself out of it constantly. With the Terrifier films, let's say, it's over the top, it's really gory, but like I said, it goes so far sometimes that you're just like, okay, that's ridiculous. And it allows you that kind of like a release. The valve is turned a bit and it lets some pressure out because of how over the top it is. But some movies are brutal that I like. There are some brutal scenes in like 28 Days Later. That's a pretty serious film. It's pretty heavy. 28 Weeks Later is the same way. But let's say even with a movie like Last House on the Left or I Spit on Your Grave, stuff like that, it still turns into like a revenge movie, and you see people get their comeuppance. And I think if that component's there, then it's like it levels the playing field. I'm like, all right, sweet. There was a lot of nasty shit that happened, but it was going somewhere. You know what I'm saying? There's got to be that release valve at some point. Super cool dudes here over on Twitch. What's up, super cool? Super cool, super tonight, super hanging out, super having a good time, super listening to the... We're listening to the Phil Collins No Jacket Required album right now. I got something else on deck for when this one wraps up. But what else? There was something I wanted to get to on video game news. Some video game related shit going on. People talking about the new, the Oblivion, the remaster. I saw that it's already gotten to the point where more people are playing Skyrim than are playing the new Oblivion remaster, which is kind of surprising. I haven't tried it yet. I haven't done that. Super awesome to hear you're doing super awesome, super cool. But, you know, what do you think? Is that bad? Is that a bad sign? Or was that to be expected? It seems like Skyrim, it just won't go away. It's tough to compete with. So many new games come out and they don't capture that player base. It's still going strong. Wouldn't it be something if Elder Scrolls 6, that's the one that they announced like fucking 15 years ago and still who knows when it's going to come out. But when that finally comes out, wouldn't it be something? Wouldn't it be quite something if when that movie or that game comes out, after a week or two, there are more people playing Skyrim. Everyone goes back to Skyrim after Elder Scrolls 6 comes out. Is that a possibility? It's always possible. It's quite possible. I mean, they've got... Maybe that's why they're taking so much time. They're like, look at this thing we crafted with Skyrim. Now, me personally, I actually prefer Oblivion. I prefer the old Oblivion game, like the old one, the OG. I had more fun with it. I like it more. I like the setting. I like the quests. I like the way the world looks, the music. Everything just seems better. It touches me in a way that Skyrim never did. It satisfied and pleased me in a way that Skyrim never did. I had needs that Skyrim didn't take care of. And Oblivion never let me down in that respect. It always made sure that I was taken care of. Skyrim does have a massive modding community. You know, they're also working on that Sky Oblivion mod for the longest time. And I think that kind of like... Bethesda had to know about that. And they knew that people were working and busting their ass to make the Sky Oblivion version of Oblivion. where they're basically remaking Oblivion in Skyrim. So it looks like Skyrim, it plays similar to Skyrim. It's got all the bells and whistles of Skyrim, but it's the Elder Scrolls Oblivion game. And this has been, people have been working on this for years now. I mean, it's a big thing within the modding community. Everyone knows about it. I think that Skyrim, or sorry, the Sky Oblivion mod being such a point of conversation within the modding community and within the Elder Scrolls community at large, everyone knowing about it, knowing it was coming at some point, then Bethesda coming out and being like, well, here you go, here's a remastered version of Oblivion. When they knew there were these people who had dedicated all this time and energy and all these resources and just out of the goodness of their hearts, you know, they were going all in on it for years, putting blood, sweat, and tears into it. I don't think people like that. I think that some people are staying away from the Oblivion remaster because they're waiting for the Sky Oblivion mod to come out. I wonder how much that has to do with the low numbers. I bet you it's not insignificant. I bet there are a significant number of people out there who are like, you know what? You guys can keep your shitty remaster. You can keep it. We're waiting for Sky Oblivion because we're going to support our friends, our community members. We're going to rally around them. Hey, Toddy Howard, go suck on this, buddy. No, I'm not saying that. I love Todd Howard. But a lot of people don't. A lot of people got a little something for him. Honk, honk. You know what I mean? What else is going on in the world of video games? I just got a text message from GameStop. And they said, hey, we realize you might have missed out on an opportunity to pre-order yourself a Nintendo Switch 2, but if you stop by the store on release day, we're going to have extra copies. We're going to have extra boxes. We're going to have extra units of the Nintendo Switch 2. And that's when my mind starts going, do I want to? I was like, you know, whatever. But then they send you that offer, and you start thinking about it, and it's like, well, fuck. I avoided the pre-order, and I was like, that's fine, I'll just get one later. And then that text comes through. And it's like, now hold on a second. You start seeing more footage of the new Mario Kart. And I know it's nothing special. There are many other racing games that are open world where you can drive wherever you want to. But look, here's why it's different with Mario Kart. Because, you know, you've been playing Mario Kart, if you're me, you've been playing for decades. A lot of Mario Kart players have been playing for decades. You got all these tracks that you've seen. And on all these tracks, you'll see stuff off in the distance that would have been sweet to drive to. Routes you could have taken, but you're blocked by invisible walls and things are inaccessible. And now, for the first time, you're going to be able to go wherever you want to. You can do anything you want to. What's up, Sona? Hello. Welcome. Hope you're having a good evening. Now you can do whatever you want in Mario Kart. And, like I said, many other racing games have done this, but Mario Kart has not. So now, that's a big selling point. And I heard some music, a remix of some tunes from Super Mario Bros. 3 on the NES that they're going to have on the radio station you can play when you're driving around and cruising. And I'm like, that just looks fun as shit, man. That looks fun. And isn't that what it's all about? Having fun? Even games where you're kind of like breaking your own nuts. When you're giving yourself knees to the dick. Trying to get past a certain part. It's probably fun for you or you wouldn't keep doing it. People don't get that. Fun in a video game doesn't necessarily mean playing on journalist mode. Where, you know, you're on baby easy mode. Speaking of that, I saw some horse shit where there was a consulting company, and what was it? A memorandum had leaked where they were addressing some game developer, talking about accessibility issues, talking about difficulty levels, and they were advising them on words they should and shouldn't use when coming up with names for difficulties in the game. And they say a big no-no is anything that disparages players who choose to play on a lower difficulty setting. You can't do that anymore. Fuck you! That's what I say, man. Make fun of me. Make fun of me all day long if I can't play on the hardest difficulty. Call me a crybaby, little baby mode, weep into your mommy's tits mode, whatever. I think that people should be disparaged. If you truly don't care, then you won't care. You know? But if you're the type of person who usually likes a good challenge, and then you're thinking about it and you're like sliding it down to like baby mode, and you see that, there's like a little... They did that on, what was it? Wolfenstein, I think, where you're setting the difficulty, and then it's like the main character wearing a bonnet. There's like a little picture of the main character wearing a bonnet if you go down to the easiest difficulty, and he's got a little pacifier in his mouth. Like, I love shit like that. That's just fun. That's gamers and developers having fun. That rapport should exist, and if you are arguing it shouldn't, then I think you should get the fuck out of video games, brother. I think you should get out. Go. It's my opinion that video games just aren't for you. That's a famous line. When people would come in and parasitize different hobbies, where they wrest control of it from the top, and then they start talking down to their subjects, the people who have actually made the things, what they are. You see it in tabletop gaming with what happened to D&D. I mean, it's everywhere. Star Wars. And then they start talking to you like they've been there the whole time, when they just got there like 2 days ago. You've been here for decades building this hobby up with all your buddies, and then these new Johnny-come-latelys waltz in there, and they're like, oh, you don't like what we're doing? Oh, you don't like that you have to put stairs in all the caves in D&D so people can get in when they're in their wheelchair? You don't like that? Well, maybe D&D just isn't for you. Out. Go. Get these people the fuck out. Get them out. See, they should see themselves out. I mean, it's just it's too much. I think that it's happening. I think gatekeeping is coming back. I think the right people are going to find their way back to the top, and if not, indie developers who make gamers happy and who aren't pussies are going to do a great job building new empires. They're going to get all the support. People are going to leave. They're going to throw their shackles down, shackled all these AAA developers that have sold their customer base out for brownie points with people who don't even fucking matter, who don't buy the games, who don't play the games, who don't talk about the games, elsewise to just fucking virtue signal about them and shit. Fine. Go with those people. And we'll go over here and watch you guys just crumble away, and we'll support and build up new developers who give a shit about their customers. That doesn't even mean making games that I like. It just means staying true to your customer base. That's all. Not selling your customers out. Not selling out the people who built your franchises up from the bottom. Honoring those people and giving those people what they want. Not selling those people down the river for some nebulous, mysterious new customer base. We need to expand. We need to bring in new customers. Of course you want to bring in new customers, but how did you build up from the bottom in the first place? You stayed true to a certain vision and a certain thing, a certain ethos that people grew to love. And then they told their friends about it, and they told their friends about it, so on and so forth. You don't say, all right, well, fuck all that. We're going in a new direction now. We see an untapped market over here of people who don't even play video games. And those are the ones that we want to get over here to play this shit that we've been selling successfully for 30 years. Well, why don't you just keep making the people happy who made it what it was for 30 years? You could do that. That doesn't sound fun. We need a new customer base. We need a new type of customer. We got to get the synergy going. We got to get the synergy. We got to get that synergy and that synchronicity working. We got to get that simpatico. Stuff like that. Sopas, what's up? How are ya? Didn't expect me to stream. Well, I was a little late. I'll admit it. You know, we had the intro. I said I was going to keep adding stuff. I added the intro tonight. And we're going to hear from Pop Culture himself. We're going to hear from Pop Culture. He recorded a brand new Pop Culture Minute for me to share with you. And we'll be going over to Pop for his Pop Culture Minute just shortly. Let's see. What did Super Cool Dude say? He said, they just want to include wheelchairs and ramps in Minecraft because disabled Minecraft players won't feel included because of all the jumping. I think that's horse shit. You know, that's a stupid, I think that's a stupid, this idea of needing to see yourself represented in everything. It's horse shit. No one ever said that shit. No one talked about that. It's all about this fucking identitarian bullshit movement to get people hung up on things that don't really matter, and to get them hyper focused on these aspects of society and of themselves that we didn't really give a shit about for like the entirety of human history, and now they become the most important things. You know? It's like, okay, well, why in Minecraft and not in Super Mario Brothers? If you're disabled and in a wheelchair and you feel like you can't enjoy Minecraft unless Steve's able to get into a wheelchair and zoom around, then why would you be able to play Super Mario Brothers? Could you be happy doing that? Because you can't put Mario or Luigi in a wheelchair. You see him hopping around the screen. I can't do that. Fuck! Now I can't play it. But it's bullshit. Because there's stuff that I can't do in games. All the time. Well, I'm playing a Superman game and I get bummed out because I can't fly in real life. What the fuck? Or a basketball game. I'm playing NBA 2K. Whatever the shit. Oh, that guy just dunked. Fuck. I can't dunk. Take it out. I'm taking it back. Oh, well, you know what? But that's the thing, is it's not really a joke, because that's like what people are saying. That's the point being made. I can't enjoy this thing because the person I'm seeing on the screen isn't just like me. They don't have all the picadillos that I have. Skin color's another one. No one ever used to give a fuck. Growing up in the 90s, who were my idols in sports? Like Ken Griffey Jr. and fucking Emmitt Smith, Deion Sanders, Chris Carter, Warren Moon. I loved Warren Moon. I thought he was badass. But you know, Griffey, was probably the biggest one. Of course, Michael Jordan. Everyone loved Jordan. Everyone loved Shaq. Regardless of your skin color. It never once occurred to me when I was watching sports as a child, sitting there with my Ken Griffey Jr. t-shirt on and my new Ken Griffey Jr. Nike tennis shoes, it never once occurred to me, you know what? This guy's pretty cool. I love the way he swings the bat. Look at that beautiful swing. But I'd enjoy it more if it was a white guy. What? You're watching baseball. It's just a badass baseball player. Like what? And that's not me. And I can't do the things Michael Jordan does on a basketball court, but it's still inspiring to watch. I don't have to see myself represented everywhere. I don't care about that shit. Never once occurred to me. Watching Blade for the first time. Really kicking off modern day, high quality Marvel superhero films. What did people talk about when it came out? How badass it was. How badass Wesley Snipes was. Not, you've got to go and support the first black superhero at the cinemas. What? If you would have said that, you would have gotten your ass kicked. People are like, what the fuck are you talking about? Why would you bring that up? That's weird. He's black, he's an actor. And he played a badass character in this movie. Who gives a shit? Sona says 2025 is the year of identity fatigue. Yeah, big time. It's just like, shut the fuck up about that stuff, man. No one cares. Tumblr lost! It's not 2015 Tumblr anymore. Fuck. You know, the first time that I encountered that shit was, I made a meme. I was going through, it was like with Sleepstar Ignition, the band before Superdivorce. And I was making memes for us and just posting them online. And I remember, like, everyone was using Tumblr. And I was like, all right, well, I'll make us a Tumblr. Because I didn't really know shit about it. I didn't realize what kind of community I was going to be wrangling with, you know? So it was like maybe 2013 or so, 2013, 2014. And I took this picture that was like, when I was taking top trending pictures from Tumblr and remaking them for Sleepstar. Like putting our band name in them and just tweaking them to make them slightly humorous or stupid or whatever. Just shit posting. Just general shit posting. That's all it was, you know? And so I'm shit posting, and there was this picture, and it was like a chick's leg, and it like went up her thigh. It was like a picture from her knee up, and it had like a little ticky mark every so often as you go up the leg, and at each marking it would have like a different name. It would be like, you know, the first one is like revealing, and then the next one is like slut, and the next one's like whore, and it's showing like, it's making a statement about how women are judged when they wear skimpy outfits. And I was like, okay. And I made the top one just say Sleepstar Ignition. And I posted it, and I like got online one day, and I went to our account and saw that this chick had written this fucking screed. Just went off. Like losing her mind about how disrespectful it was. And I was like, whoa, it was just a joke, darling. Sweetheart, calm your titties. It was just a joke. Don't take it that seriously. We're a mostly unsuccessful local band from Lebanon, Ohio. At that point, it's not that big of a deal. Don't worry about it. You'll be okay. And whatever. I think I wrote back because I'd never experienced that before. That was like, cancel culture was really like just ramping up. It was like in the beginning stages. And I think that's how it got started. Is it would be like someone would get a comment like that and it would catch them off guard the way it caught me off guard. And it was like, whoa, shit. No, I wasn't trying to I wasn't trying to ruffle your titties. You know, it was a shit post. I'm just shit posting here. And so I think I said, hey, I didn't mean anything by it, you know? Trying to like walk out of it calmly, trying to almost like apologize, which over time you learn you never do to those people. To the people who respond that way, you don't apologize. If anything, double down, you know? Because there's nothing they want. They don't want an apology. There's nothing they want besides power over you. It's all a power trip. And as soon as you apologize, they know they got you. And then they want to keep you on your knees and get as much out of you as they can. So fuck those people. Super Cool said Captain America is now black and it's dumb because it's not canonical. Well, you know, it's like I don't really give a shit about the Marvel movies in general. I haven't cared about the MCU for many moons. And there have been like, what would you say, like additions. You could take John Stewart from the Green Lantern Corps. But he's his own guy. You know, he was added to the Corps. It's not like they said, we have to get rid of Hal Jordan so we can have a black Green Lantern. It was like you can add him to the roster. But the problem with when you tinker with firmly established characters is people laugh this off, but it's I want to say it's more serious. The characters do have an actual identity. It's not whatever you want it to be just because it's fiction. It's really not. So, I mean, think of it this way. If you're walking down the street and you ask 10 people, who is the man behind Superman? What's his normal civilian identity? What's his name? Almost everyone's going to be able to tell you it's Clark Kent. Just because the character doesn't exist here, right here in you know, stomp around with us, walking down the sidewalk, going to Burger King, getting himself a fucking fish sandwich, just because he's not doing that right next to you doesn't mean he doesn't have his own established existence that's like in the consciousness of the population. Everyone knows Clark Kent is Superman, and people know about Superman's abilities. They know what his weakness is. Everyone knows kryptonite. That's Superman's weakness. It's like we know all these things about a fictional character, but they're like, they might as well be set in stone. We might as well be talking about someone that lives next door to you. That's how established and firmly rooted some of these characters and their identities become over time. That's why we have like what if books. Because publishers know that. We know that. So they did a series of books back in the early 2000s where it was like, what if Stan Lee created various DC superheroes? It wasn't just like, well, Stan Lee is now created, or Superman's now created by Stan Lee. You can't do that because everyone knows that's not true. Everyone knows who Superman is, what his history is. It can't just be whatever you want because it's fiction or because it's written for kids. It doesn't matter. Same with Star Wars. That's what they would say about Star Wars. When Disney came in and fucked everything up, that's like an often heard line. Well, they're just fictional characters. It's just a fictional world. It can be whatever they want it to be. No, it actually can't. Because we know when certain things go against the established rule of Star Wars, Superman, Batman, we know it. It dings a little bell. It's like Hector Salamanca sitting there, ding, 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 and he's trying to blow the fucking thing up before it becomes a cultural contagion and ruins things. But I don't know, man. Bunch of bullshit. Sopa said, guess what? Today is my day off, and between all the things I did today, finally I bought my first and own car, and I'm fucking happy. Well, hey, congrats. Congrats to that. Everyone, congratulations to send a congrats. Maybe put a little car emote in the chat for Sopa's there, who's got her very first automobile vehicle. What kind of car did you get? Something nice? Something fun? Fun to drive? Big car, little car, tiny car? Super Cool hates the Star Wars Disney scandal. Well, I've just tuned out. Basically the same thing that I did with Marvel, the MCU. Once we entered the Brie Larson era, I was like, okay, see you guys. That's enough. We should have left it, I think, after Endgame. Or, that was it, right? Was that the last one? Endgame, Infinity War. Whatever those two fucking were. It's been a while. But that's where I dropped out. I was like, I don't care anymore. Same thing happened with comics. You do all the reboots every 2 years, or less than that sometimes. As a longtime comic book fan, one of the I think coolest things about being a fan of a long-running series was getting in early, maybe from like even issue number 1, and then seeing that number climb as you continued reading. And they took that away from people because they felt like it was intimidating to new readers when they walked in the comic shop and they saw like a high number count on an individual floppy. People would be turned off. They'd say, oh no, well I can't get involved in this. It's been going on for too long. I don't even know where to start. You just pick up that issue and you start buying them every week after that. I mean, that's how it always worked. But somewhere along the line, I would say between like 10 and 15 years ago, they started doing this thing where it's like, we reached like number 20. We've got to reset. Everything that you read up to now, we're just going to like throw it in the trash and we're going to start over for new readers. You don't have to have read anything else. You can come in right here on issue 1. But you know you're only going to get so far and they're going to pull the rug out from under you again. So it's like, oh, fuck you if you like long-term storytelling. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Sopa's got a 2007 Honda Civic. Jess and I, my wife and I, owned, I think it might have been an 07. It was either, I think, an 06 or an 07 Honda Civic. I love that car. That was a great vehicle. Susudio. Modern classic. Patrick Bateman approved. Phil Collins. No jacket required, but I'm wearing mine tonight. There's a possibility you have my old Honda Civic. Wouldn't that be wild? That'd be something else. That'd be quite something. That would be something. Talk about isn't that something? That would be something. All right. So let's take it to the floor. Let's take it to the audience. What are you guys seeing? Anything out there today? Anything good that you've been dying to chat about? Something you want to get off your chest? What do you got? What do you got for me out there? Out in Audienceville? Any trending topics? Any TTs? Let's tweak some TTs. What's trending, guys? That would maybe be a thing I'll add. I could get the trending topics up here, and we could go through them. Right here. I could browse through them. It'd be cool if I could be like Tom Cruise in Minority Report and kind of fling them all over the place. I don't have that technology, but maybe someday. No one's talking about any trending topics. Alright. Nothing trending, huh? Nothing anyone wants to talk about? Super Cool just got a new game. Which game is that? I was looking at some games earlier. I saw one that was called like Survive the Fall on Steam. It looked pretty fun. I actually played one today. I was gonna do a Super Play upload today. I played it. I recorded it. I was all dressed up for it and everything. And I played it, and then I got to the end and I was like, I don't even want to fucking post this. Not just out of laziness. It's not like I didn't want to edit the video or anything like that. It was just like a bummer. It's like, what's the point? What are these games doing? You want to hear what it was? It was one of these walking sims. Oh, Happy's Farm, huh? Happy's Humble Burger Farm? Or just Happy's Farm? If it's Happy's Humble Burger Farm, that game's awesome. That's one of my favorite games. That's one of my favorite, like, horror games ever. I love that game. I did a playthrough of it on this channel before I started doing, you know, like, commentary vids. So if you get stuck at all as you're playing it, look up my playthrough. Because I'll tell you what happened. I recorded a blind playthrough that took me, like, 10.5 hours. And I recorded the playthrough, and I was going to upload the entire thing. Just my first blind playthrough. It was like almost an 11-hour video. And the file got corrupted, and I lost everything. I lost the entire playthrough. I had to start, well, there was a moment where I was like, fuck this. That sucks. I played it like on the release day, and I was trying to haul ass to be like the first person to have a full playthrough up, and lost the file. So after playing it like all through the night, for like 11 hours. I sat there. I took a break for a few minutes. And then I came back and I played it again. And I whittled my time down, I think, to about 3.5 hours. It's crazy how much faster I was playing through the second time. Because I still remembered where everything was. All the times I got stuck on my first playthrough were taken out of the equation. It's insane how much faster a second playthrough can be sometimes if you do it like right after your first playthrough. So that is, unfortunately, no commentary, but it's a very solid playthrough. There's not much filler. If you get stuck, go and consult my playthrough. Look it up. And I've done a lot of commentary videos since then. Most of my videos in the past, 2 years at least, I think, have been commentary videos with commentary. And I actually started a second channel called Quiet Superdivorce just for no commentary playthroughs. Because I figured, why not? Some people prefer those. So I'll post the commentary version here, and then I'll just take my gameplay and post that on the second channel, the Quiet Superdivorce channel. So, in case you didn't know, for everyone who didn't know, you can also sub to Quiet Superdivorce if you ever want to just have me shut the fuck up when you're watching some gameplay. Sometimes people like to put gameplay on in the background when they're going to sleep, you know, not have someone talking over it, yelling and carrying on and such. Yeah. Oh boy. But what else were we talking about? We were talking... Oh, Sona said she didn't know it's trending. She's too old. Well, I just checked, like, trending on X. I just literally go to the trending tab and see. What's in the news? What's today's pop culture news? Not the pop culture of old. We're going to take a look there in just a minute. What time? I think at about the 1 hour mark. Maybe about 5 minutes from now. We'll check in with pop culture. And we'll see what old Pop had to say. What he sent us over today. We haven't heard from Pop in a long time. It was good to see that he's still doing well. We got some nice info, I believe, from the 1800s coming to you. Super saw a cool movie. Which movie was it? I just watched a movie tonight with the fam. We're going through the entire Mission Impossible series. Had some Tom Cruise appreciation going on here this week. So we watched Ghost Protocol tonight. I had actually seen that one in theaters. Jess said she didn't remember watching it. And I think she's nuts. Because I'm almost 100% certain that we went to cinema and watched that when it came out. I don't know anyone else that I would have gone to see that movie with. Maybe my dad, because we'll still go to the movies sometimes. But I was almost certain that Jess went with me, and she just forgot everything about it. Maybe, as one of my boys said, she fell asleep. She might have fallen asleep in the cinema. Sopa's going to delight with some hot dogs. Not too bad. Enjoy, chef. But yeah, Ghost Protocol is fun. You don't get any Ving Rhames until like the very end. That's kind of a bummer, because he's got a nice cool character in that film series. I think his name's Luther. Jess said, "Yeah, dude, I've never seen it." I don't believe you. I think you are misremembering, or you've just totally forgotten. I think it just totally flew the coop of your mind. I think you went with me. I think we went to cinema and watched it. But you know, she was being a hater about the Mission Impossible series in general. When I said, "Oh, we got to get caught up. We got to go back through this series so we can watch Dead Reckoning, the finale. We gotta go see that in cinema." And she's like, "Mission Impossible? I don't really care about that film series. I don't really care about Tom Cruise." And I was like, "What? But those movies are so awesome. We got to go back through them." And now it seems like she's maybe getting into it a little bit. You didn't remember a single scrap of it. Well, oh, and Super Cool saw the new Smile 2. I saw the first one. I ain't seen the second one yet. It looks good. It looks creepy. I do want to see that one. Looks like a fun horror film. We watched the first one, I don't know, a few months back. I didn't see it when it came out, but we watched it somewhat recently, and I thought it was pretty darn good. Pretty darn creepy. Jess said she fell asleep during one movie because she was drunk. Left once because of a bad blind date. But other than that, you've got a perfect track record of staying asleep and staying focused for every film you've ever been to at cinema. That's what you're telling everyone. Alright. Well, guess what? We're gonna put Phil Collins on pause, because in just about 30 seconds, we're going to check in with Pop Culture, a brand new edition of the Pop Culture Minute, and see what Pop had for you today, what kind of news from the 1800s Pop Culture wanted to share with you. First time, like I said, almost 2 years. It's been 2 years since Pop Culture has been up here on the channel to check in with us. So, here we go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Pop Culture Minute with me, Pop Culture. You know what we like to do here on the Pop Culture Minute is take you back in time a little bit, back to some pop culture worth knowing about. So we're not going to be talking about Justin Bieber. We're not going to be talking about Ariana Grande. No, today I'd like to go back to the year 1800, March 20th to be exact, when Italian physicist Alessandro Volta, after whom the volt is named, you might have heard of volts and voltage when dealing with home electricity. Well, he wrote a letter to his friend and pen pal, British naturalist and scientist Joseph Banks. And in this letter, he was detailing the discovery, one of the greatest discoveries of all time. Very pertinent for today's technologically driven world. He wrote about the discovery of the electrical battery. And what I've done is I have compiled and
Thank you, Pop. Thank you very much for that, Pop. Hope everyone enjoyed his check-in. How about that? Alessandro Volta and his pen pal, Joseph Banks. Writing of the discovery, the invention of the electric battery. Where would we be today without Alessandro Volta and his volts and his batteries? Super Cool said, what was that? What happened? That was just pop culture checking in. Pop culture likes to check in every now and again with the Pop Culture Minute, as he calls it. Likes to take you back in time, tell you about some pop culture that, as he says, is worth knowing about. Not modern pop culture. A lot of the stuff we discuss, he doesn't really take the same view. He likes to go back to the past. He likes to discuss more foundational moments throughout the history of humanity. And that's what we saw there. It was just pop culture checking in, the Pop Culture Minute. He just has 1 minute to tell you about the latest and greatest in pop culture news. Well, not the latest and greatest. The latest in the sense that everyone he talks about is probably dead. That's latest, as in late. The late Abraham Lincoln. That's kind of, how is it pop culture if it was in the 1800s? What was pop culture then? It was their pop culture. In 1800, it would have been pop culture. People would have been talking about that. People would have been talking about the electric battery. They would have been talking about the note. Isn't pop culture new? Pop culture just means popular culture. It could be whichever time you happen to be in. Whatever moment you're in presently, the culture around you that's popular, that's pop culture. We've had pop culture for as long as we've had humanity. People don't think about it that way, but, you know, in the 1700s, way back in the year 800, they had pop culture. Wherever you find yourself throughout history, you also find yourself surrounded by pop culture. So that's what's going on there. That's the Pop Culture Minute. And if we didn't have Alessandro Volta discovering not just discovering, but inventing the electric battery, think about it. So many things we wouldn't have. I wouldn't be able to play any music right now like I'm able to play on this little boombox right here. It's using batteries. If not for Alessandro Volta, we would not have Phil Collins' No Jacket Required on cassette tape. So it's still relevant in that particular sense, right? It ripples throughout time. It's rippling on even today. Phil Collins on cassette tape, playing on a tape deck right here on the internet, live streaming to the entire world on Supertonight. Why am I drinking a cool Coca-Cola beverage instead of a piping hot cup? I don't really have a good answer for that. When I had my piping hot cup the other night, you know, that was brought to me. I can't leave the stream and go and get a piping hot cup. I've chosen to grab one of these before the stream starts for the past few nights because it kind of works out to where by the time I finish it, I feel like it's about time to wrap up the stream. So it's just naturally, it's kind of worked out that way. I guess my natural pacing is a good fit for the stream length. And it's nice to wet the palate, keep the throat nice and lubricated so you don't seize up. Because I'm not up here singing or screaming the entire time. I've gotten loud a few times, but I feel like tonight's been fairly chill. What was that? What's going on? Okay, there we go. You thought it was Superdivorce, not Baby Divorce. Well, hey, you know, do I have to be drinking a hot beverage? Is that the only way I can not be Baby Divorce? Does drinking this make me a baby? Is that what's up? If I had my way, it would be an ice cold beer in my hand every time. But I'm trying to watch my figure. I'm trying to get back into fighting shape, let's say. I kind of made a deal with myself. It's like, let's be in the best shape ever by the time 40 rolls around at the end of the summer. You know? So I've undertaken a nice consistent fitness regimen. I've been on that shit. I've been eating very well. I haven't had a drip drop of alcohol in probably over a month now. It seems like it anyway. Yeah, I was gonna have a beer last weekend and I didn't get one. When we were at cinema, I was going to have a beer while I watched Clown in the Cornfield. I walked over to the bar in the lobby. They had a little lobby bar. And I was going to order a beer and take it into the cinema and watch the movie and have a beer. And I didn't do it because they were taking too long. And I was like, well, I'm not going to make us late to go into the movie just so I can get a beer. Fuck that. The lady was taking so long. It was like she'd never served bar at all. It was like her first day, baby's first day behind the bar. And there was like one guy sitting down and like 3 other people who were ordering. And they like got just simple shit. It's not like they got anything crazy. But she was moving so slowly. Just no sense of urgency at all. She looked like she was kind of a granny. Like maybe she was supposed to be taking tickets and the bartender didn't show up, so they just threw her back there to serve bar. So I was like, whatever. I'll just not get anything. I'll just drink a Coke Zero like this right here. But it's fine, you know. It's true. That stuff, it'll put the pounds on. But then you stop and it's like that water weight just, it flushes right out. You see how much excess water you start holding on to when you're drinking beer all the time. And it's not like I'm an alcoholic, but if you have it like a few times a week, that can make a difference. So I'm not saying I'll never drink again, but right now I'm kind of locked in. I'm like in the zone. It's like, let's keep it up. Let's stay on that hardcore path and see, like I said, if we can get back into fighting shape. Best shape. I'd like to feel, when I turn 40, I'd like to feel like I could face off in fisticuffs with any previous version of myself and win handily. And I would be able to tell. Am I there right now? I don't think so just yet. But I'm getting close. I can feel it. I can feel my power level is ramping up. It's starting to surge. I'll get there. I just gotta stay on the course. Gotta stay on the path. You know? So not too many detours. I can't stop off at too many rest stops and be like, well, you know, just a peanut butter cup here, and you know, it's better to just chill. You never said a piping hot cup of coffee. Well, maybe I did. I think I did. I think I said the piping hot cup of coffee. I'll have to get a piping hot cup of coffee sometime. I didn't have enough piping hot cups today. I could have hot cocoa or bone broth. I do like bone broth. Yeah, I could make some bone broth. But I drink the bone broth pretty quickly, comparatively speaking. Because you want to drink the bone broth while it's hot. Same with a piping hot cup of coffee. You don't want to let it go lukewarm. If it does go lukewarm, then I'll take it up and I'll nuke it. But I can't do that when I'm here on a program. I can't just leave the room and be like, alright guys, I'll be back in 5. I'm going to go heat up my coffee in the microwave. I can't do that. I'd come back and no one would be left. Everyone would leave. You know? Jay Leno wouldn't have done that.
Hey, Kev, will you watch the stage real quick? I gotta go heat up my coffee.
Like, it wouldn't have happened. They would have pulled the plug on the Tonight Show after 5 episodes, if that. And apple cider, we can't get into until fall time. I do enjoy apple cider, but that's not something I can do right now. That's a fall time treat. That's a fall time exclusive. The apple cider. So we're going to have to hold off. We'll do some apple cider. But the season's got to be right. Apple cider, hot apple cider at the wrong time of the year is just a bummer. I don't want to do it. I don't want to get mixed up in that. I don't want to engage in that. I don't want to encourage that. We'll get there. But we have to wait our turn. We have to wait until the season rolls around. You know? Hot apple juice. No. Maybe some hot orange juice. Maybe a piping hot cup of orange juice. I've never done that. Have you? You ever had a hot cup of orange juice? With a slice of toast with some baked beans spread on it? That sounds like a total British meal. That sounds like a meal for redcoats. Yeah, oh mate. You know? With the fucking... I need my fucking... Who's got my fucking orange juice? I want my fucking warm orange juice. I need my piping hot cup of orange juice. Governor, sir. Please give me my orange juice. Nah, we're not gonna do it. I don't feel like anyone above the age of maybe 5 drinks apple juice. That's a baby. That's a baby drink. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying yourself. I like putting smiles on faces. But yeah, no apple juice if you're over the age of 5, probably. It's always got to be in a little juice box, a little sippy cup of apple juice. I like apple juice, all right. It's just I don't know the last time I went somewhere and I was like, man, I'm gonna run in the gas station and buy myself a nice glass of apple juice. Other juices, summertime appropriate. Maybe, I mean, it's not really a juice, but it's juice adjacent. Lemonade, obviously. That would be the summertime juice. It's made from the juice of lemons. You just got a lot of sugar mixed in. But all those things have extra sugar in them, don't they? Most of them that you'd buy, say at the gas station, oftentimes they're loading them up with sugar. So you could call lemonade lemon juice and throw that in the mix. Cranberry juice, that's not bad. People usually drink that when they get a UTI or maybe a kidney or a bladder infection. They say you're supposed to clear things out, help you out that way somehow. They have big gallons of apple juice. Well, that's fine. I guess they could have that. I'm not disputing it. You don't see those out and about very often. You have to go to the grocery store for a gallon of apple juice. You're not going to stop in a Speedway or Thornton's or Wawa or Shell or BP or any of those and find a gallon of apple juice. If you asked for it, they'd laugh you out of the store and maybe call the police. Well, guys, the tape is stopped. We're all out of Phil Collins. We're all out of Friend Coke Zero. That's all cashed out. And I don't have any more trending topics for you. We're discussing juices. Super Cool Dude said orange juice is 80% sugar. See, that's what I'm talking about. But they don't denigrate it by calling it Orangeade just because it's got lots of sugar. I feel like that's what they do to lemon juice. It's got all this sugar added to it, but it's not lemon juice. The only time you hear lemon juice is in a little squeezy bottle. Maybe you drizzle some on your Filet-O-Fish, on your tilapia, a little butter, a little lemon juice squeeze in the little lemon-shaped bottle. That's like the only juice you can buy that way. Isn't that weird? You ever thought about that? They don't have any of those other juices. It's just lemon. And I've seen lime. Lime and lemon. The lime-shaped bottle, the lemon-shaped bottle. Those two. But you can't go into the grocer and buy an orange-shaped, small, tiny bottle of orange juice that's pure orange juice to just squeeze and drizzle on your side salad. Or cherry juice. Or any of the other fruit juices. I don't know why it is that lemon and lime got that treatment, but those are like the only two that you see in that particular configuration. You always see those two together. Everyone's got the little lemon juice. A lot of people probably have the lime. I feel like everyone's got the lemon juice in the lemon-shaped bottle, little squeezy spritz. But when people say lemon juice, that's what they usually think of. If people say apple juice, they think of the drink apple juice that you may buy in a gallon. They don't think of a little apple-shaped container that you spritz onto your fish. No one does that. No one puts apple juice on their fish. Isn't that funny? Isn't it strange how that works out? Why did that happen? I don't know. Maybe someone out there will get to the bottom of it. But I don't know. Alright, Super Cool's going to head out. We're going to head out here in just a minute. Please let me know what you think of Happy's Humble Burger Farm. And also, like I said, don't forget, if you get stuck, I know you're watching on Twitch, but if you go over to the YouTube station, you can find my Happy's Humble Burger Farm. Just look up Superdivorce Happy's Humble Burger Farm. Watch my playthrough. It's pretty epic because I do a great job. I'm very proud of that playthrough. Very, very well done. If you get stuck, go and consult my playthrough. You won't be You won't be disappointed. Super Cool said I used to eat out of those as a kid and my parents would get angry at me. Which things? What would they get angry about? Now I've forgotten the things. I don't know. All right. Well, if you don't, bye-bye. See you later. Adios, auf Wiedersehen. Take real good care. And that's probably my cue too. Okay. So, if you haven't done so, if you're hanging out, if you're having a good time, don't forget to sub wherever you are. If you're on YouTube, if you're on Twitch, if you're watching on X. Does anyone there watch? I don't know. I stream on there. It automatically goes out to these 3 places. Oh, the lime squeezies, you said. Okay. All right. I gotcha. But wherever you're watching, please sub, follow, like, comment after the stream's after the stream's over. If you got anything else to add, any suggestions, any requests for games that you'd like to see played. Because I'm going to do some. I told you I tried to get back to gameplay videos today, and the game was just so unremarkable. I was like, I'm not uploading it. I'm not going to do it. Anyway. 11:30. I'll be on timer tomorrow. I was pretty off tonight. My bad on that. But I had to get the video from Pop Culture. And he's an old man, he's kind of feeble. So he didn't produce it as quickly as I wanted him to. Made me a little late. But we got it. We got it up here. So it's all taken care of. He knows for next time. I'm going to need that a bit snappier so we can be on time. 11:30 p.m. All right? And until then, everyone, take real good care. Keep kicking ass. Love you lots. Lord willing, I'll be back very soon with another video for you to watch. And, bye-bye. Let me just go over here real quick and gotta